There's one question that almost every entrepreneur I work with struggle to answer, and it's not about what she does. It's about who she feels called to serve. And so today I'm going to be talking through and going through how to find out not just who you might want to work with, but who you are actually called to work with. Welcome to The Brand Bridge, the podcast for purpose-driven women entrepreneurs who are ready to build a personal brand with structure, without compromise, so that they can reach the right people. My name is Melissa, and today I am going to be finishing off this 3-part series all about my identity map framework. And today we're going to be going through the layer called calling. So my identity framework is a framework and the methodology that I use with all of my clients who go through my signature program called the Compromise-Free Brand Method. And so the 5 layers of the framework are identity, positioning, presence, calling, and expression. So this series has been around positioning, presence, and this third one is calling. And so it's definitely thinking about our ideal clients. We definitely, for the most part, we think too shallow about who they are. And what ends up happening is, and you might have done an exercise like this already before, where you end up talking more about the demographics, which is like their age, their gender, how much money they make, and all those kind of things, and not enough about psychographics. Psychographics are the emotional part of your client, the parts that describe what they believe, what they're going through, where they are right now, all of these things that actually make up who they are as a person. And we don't think about that enough. We kind of just tend to pick an industry or, we say, well, I want to work with women, and we make it very general and generic. And then that comes out in your content, in your marketing, when you're trying to reach ideal clients. It hasn't really been defined. And so there's a struggle there. And you might see that you don't get a lot of inquiries. You might not get a lot of clients. You might not get enough leads and things like that. And so you might not, even know how to talk to a client, or your discovery calls might be 30, 40, 50 minutes long because you're trying to figure out who this person is. They're trying to figure out what you offer. You're trying to convince them. They're trying to figure it out. They're hesitating. You're trying to handle objections and all of these things. And it might just not be a good match. And especially when we're building our business, when we're newer, or we're really kind of coming into another level of our business, sometimes we still don't want to say no to red flags. We still don't want to say no to clients that we know might be not a dream to work with, because we don't get the clients consistently enough to be able to basically say no to clients. So understanding who they are, who it is, not just only who, because they can, some people say, well, think of a problem that people can afford to pay you to solve and do that. And that is the worst advice. I've heard people say, pick rich people's problems and solve them. That is the worst advice ever, because you might end up picking something that maybe, rich people need help with, but maybe it's not going to light you up. Maybe it's going to be a drag. Maybe you're going to wake up every day and just end up disliking this business that you are creating. And so you're creating something that you don't actually like. And that's worse than going and working a 9-to-5, building something that you actually don't like and you don't feel called to. So it's really important that we understand more deeply who our clients are, who our ideal clients are, and not be afraid to say no or to turn away from the ones who aren't going to be a match. Or if someone decides not to work with you, to completely disconnect from that outcome. We should never be so connected to the outcomes that we have and that we're trying to do that it's playing with our emotions. Because if someone doesn't work with you and you feel really upset about it, and then somebody does work with you and you feel really happy, and then the next person doesn't, and you're always going to be on this emotional roller coaster where instead of thinking about, well, this person it didn't decide to work with me. Okay, that's fine. You've lost nothing. You've literally lost nothing. Unless like they said they were going to, work with you and you're in the middle of signing contract and then they're like, well, that might hurt a little bit more, but still, even so, even if you're working with a client, they decide not to work with you anymore for whatever reason, it's okay. It's okay. Think of it as it's making space for more aligned, more dream clients that you really would be lit up to work with. And that's the goal. So now you're probably saying, okay, well, how do I know which clients are my ideal clients if I don't, just pick from, a certain industry or topic that I like? Your ideal client can be found in your own story. Your ideal client can be found in your own experience. And those are always going to be the best clients for you. And when you can really connect to it on a personal level, and you know that what you carry, because I know it's true for you, that what you carry is bigger than you. What you carry, it's not just about what you're going to get, because you're here to actually give something to this specific group of people. And so when you can really connect to that, when you can really look at your story, your experience, and see what you've overcome or what you're overcoming, that is your personal brand. And that is where your ideal clients are going to come from. So when I'm working with clients, there's a set of specific questions. There's a whole bunch of questions that I ask that are strategically, first of all, they're in a strategic order, like one can't come before the next or it doesn't make sense. And they're there to also show you more of and reflect to you who you actually are equipped to help and who you would actually feel lit up to help. It's found really in your story and your experience. And so a little exercise you can do right now is to, if you've had clients before, think about what they shared with you. Think about their story. Think about if there was any common denominators there, and I'm sure there is if you think about it. What are the common denominators? What were the common things that kept coming up for people? Where were they in their life? What was happening to them that they came to you in the first place? So think about those things and write them down. Write specific words that you remember them saying, because this can be part of your messaging, and it should be part of your messaging too, which is the language. Messaging is the language that you use in your marketing so that the right people can find you. So write those words down. And if you've never had clients before, well, think about your own story. Think about the things that you've been through and how did you feel when you were going through those things, those tough times? What did it feel when you came out of those struggles, out of those challenges, out of those things that you see now really made you who you are? And you can start there, and you should start there. And so whether you've had clients or not, you're going to see something really raw, something really real that's true for you, that's true about you. And you have everything you need, you carry, and you're equipped to help this specific group of people with this specific outcome and solution, the one that you can see, the one that you've been through, and the one that you can really help them with. So that is the end of this mini series where I was going through some parts of my identity map framework. The three episodes were about positioning, presence, and calling. And so positioning is about where you uniquely stand. Presence is about your voice and how you sound to the right people. And calling is about finding who those right people are. And if you're saying to yourself right now, okay, I kind of have an understanding, but I'm not quite sure, I want you to do yourself a favor and go into the description and check out my free brand clarity quiz. It's a 3-minute quiz that will tell you where you are standing in your brand right now. Are you actually clear on who your ideal clients are? And it will give you the next step that you should be taking to build the business and the brand that you see for yourself. So thank you for joining. And once again, if you have any comments, any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will get back to you. And I will end this the same way I always end it, which is to encourage you to live with heart, lead with purpose, and do both compromise free. Until next time, bye.